Hi, I'm Zoe Schroeder, registered dietitian here at Tucson Weight Loss Surgery, and today we're going to be talking about non-scale victories. I love this topic because I do think it is so important, especially while you're on a weight loss journey, to make sure that we have other ways to measure your success and your progress that don't involve just the number on the scale. So the scale success is an outcome goal, right? It's an outcome that is not necessarily in our control. If you remember our last video, we talked about behavior versus outcome goals and why it is so important to have behavior goals. So we're going to talk more about why having just the number on the scale as being your only measure of success really not going to set you up for success in the long term, and might not have a healthy relationship with the scale as well. So like I said, the scale number is an outcome, not a behavior. And the other thing that we need to keep in mind is that weight loss is not linear. We've talked about this before, but I want to remind you again, no matter what kind of journey you are on, it's not going to be completely linear. There's always going to be those bumps along the way. So if you are tying your sole feeling of success to the fluctuations on the scale, you're going to not be in a very good headspace, and it might not be a true indicator of your progress and all of the great changes you're making. So let's talk about non-scale victories and things to celebrate, because it is so important to celebrate these non-scale victories. So some of them include having more energy. Maybe you have improved sleep, your performance in the gym, or your strength or your endurance is improved. You have more confidence. Your blood labs or health markers have come back better. Maybe your blood sugars come down or your triglycerides come back into a normal range. All of these things are not tied to the scale, but they are true victories that need to be rewarded and celebrated. So let's also talk about the way clothes fit and losing inches versus that number on the scale. It's very likely that you will lose inches or your clothes will be looser and fit differently, but maybe you haven't lost any weight that week on the scale. Well, that's because your body composition is changing. Ideally, you're holding on to your muscle while you're having so much protein and losing fat. And as we know from another video, fat takes up more space than muscle. So even though that diagram in the other video showing how much more space that fat takes up for the 5 pounds versus 5 pounds of muscle, which means you can have a smaller body but weigh the same as having more fat and weigh the same as a smaller body with more muscle. Does that make sense? I hope I didn't confuse you. The idea is that your body composition is changing, and even though the number on the scale might not change, it's very likely your body composition is changing, and that is something to be celebrated. Let's talk about other people noticing and giving you compliments. That ties back into the confidence booster, right? So there are so many ways that you can measure your success and your progress that don't involve the scale. And I really, really encourage you to maybe screenshot this list or write down some of them that are really important to you, that you can keep tabs on when they happen, and you can celebrate those as they do and give them the true celebration they deserve. So the reason why we need to celebrate these non-scale victories is because success is the biggest motivator to continue working hard. So if you wait till you get to your overall huge weight loss goal to be happy and to celebrate yourself, that's not going to be very motivating to continue on this journey. However, if you celebrate your wins along the way, of these non-scale victories and say, gosh, I'm doing so great. I'm so proud of myself. And focus on all of these wonderful things that you are gaining because you are on this weight loss journey. So, like I said, I really do encourage you to come up with a couple non-scale victories that are important to you. And of course, if you are not already a member of our group nutrition program, be sure to join, because that gives you unlimited access to our classes, as well as direct contact with me if you have any further questions. But I'll see you in the next one, and take care.